We're back here with you on a Friday afternoon to preview round 7.
Come on!
Hello and welcome back to Off the Mark, an AFL Fantasy podcast. I'm Mason.
And I'm Casey. And it's interesting because I think my week is already over, but we're here on a Friday once again for the second time and going through it. Yeah.
What do you mean your week's already over? What's happened?
Well, once again, point of difference premium Ed Richards is gone. Well, there's par, there's subpar, and then there's whatever the fuck this is. There's no Brayshaw from last week, but a 74 priced at $1 million.
Yeah.
Oh, brother, there's just literally nothing I can do. I've got him and Brayshaw sitting on my side, both dropping subpar scores, and I've got so many other issues that I've got to get rid of and change and set myself up for failure from the start.
Yeah, it really is. That's the difference between the good and the bad teams this year, because no one's had the ability to change it. Like, I've still got Brayshaw stuck in there because we just have injuries after injuries, forced changes after forced changes, and now we're at the point where we kind of really need to be culling some of these rookies. Like, if you're not at least doing one of them this week, I think it's probably, not a good idea not to do that. So,
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, on the other side of the coin, I'm pretty happy with my last night. So I did trade in Chad Warner this week for a 120.
Oh, of course you did.
That was very good. Needed a forward because Brian Myers, although they're not taking him through surgery, I think he's still out for a 3 to 5 or something like that. So you must trade. Had to get a forward. Still wanted Archie Roberts, who was on the other side from Caleb Windsor. So I was able to downgrade Myers to Warner and upgrade Windsor to Roberts with a bit of leftover cash, which was perfect. So off to a good start. I did loop Sarong as well. And then my looper, Dyson Sharp, ended up playing his first game since round 1. So that sucks. But I did have Devrob there in my utility spot, so I can loop him through the midfield. Just means that I can't loop Marshall and Cook. So we'll get to all that when we go through field or yield. But off to a good start, which is good, Let's get into it. All right.
Let's do it.
We'll start with some quick updates to the fixture difficulty table, so that has changed this week, obviously. So, for the defenders, Carlton still have a great run, but only really in the next 4. It goes pretty yellow after that, so Newman should still be fine for those who traded for that. Hawthorn are so green over the next 4, 6, and 8 weeks, it's not funny. So, it'd be gutsy, but Jarman Impey's been pretty good in the last couple. We mentioned it on Monday. He's had I think it's a 90 and a ton or something, and their run is so good it's not funny. So, look, if you really wanted to jump on a unique back there, maybe you could do it. 115, 96, 87, 60, 114, and 68 going back from his scores.
Don't mind it.
Not a bad season he's put together at 852 as a defender. West Coast and Melbourne both have green runs too, but there's no real relevant names back there. Adelaide are the only ones with a red run over the next 4, 6, and 8 weeks. Not that there's any relevant players we're trading into, but maybe expect someone like a Wayne Miller to start dropping off a little bit, I think, for those who have been a bit lucky with his scoring in the last few weeks. A couple of tons in there, so maybe look for him to drop off. In the midfield, Giants and Brisbane have the best run for midfielders, so Brisbane go light green, green, yellow, red, yellow, orange, while the Giants go red, light green, green, light green, orange, and orange. So we can be targeting any Brisbane mids this week, maybe McCluggage next week, just because his break-even is still settling. And the Giants mids, so Calvert-Hand and possibly Oliver, after their red match-up against North this week, then that really opens up. Adelaide have the hardest match-up again for the midfielders, no better than a light orange for the next 9 games, so I'm putting a ban on launching into Adelaide midfielders. I'm also putting a ban on Gold Coast, who have a hard run too. No matchups over a yellow in the next 9 games, so that makes it hard to launch on a value Matt Rowell. Geelong are red over the next 4 to 6 weeks, but it'll ease up to yellow over the next 8 weeks, and they play 3 red teams in the next 5 weeks, so that'll get easier pretty quickly. Shouldn't affect someone like a Bailey Smith, I wouldn't think, but if there's any opportunity where maybe we can look for him to drop a bit in price and jump on him, it'll be after that little red run they have here. Wings and the half forwards. So West Coast by far the easiest run. Great news for someone like Murdoch as a rookie. If you don't have him, you need to be getting him in. Other teams with lots of green coming up are the Giants, Hawthorn and Richmond, but there's not really too many relevant names in there except for maybe the Hawks. They've got a couple. Carlton, Collingwood and Essendon are very red and orange over the next 4, 6 and 8 weeks. Not many relevant names in there either. For the ruck, a lot of teams have very red runs over the next 4 to 8 weeks. So Adelaide, Carlton, Collingwood, Fremantle, Geelong, Gold Coast are the 6 that we want to be avoiding. So that affects McAndrew, that affects Steen, that affects Jackson, Mitch Edwards even at Geelong possibly. They could all take a hit. Brisbane, Essendon and St Kilda are the only 3 teams with an easy run. Brisbane and Essendon are light green over the next 4 weeks, going into dark green over the next 6 to 8. And St Kilda are dark green over the next 4 to 6, going into yellow in the next 8. And that leads me to my next question. Ron Marshall?
Would have been nice if Teddy K was out for a little bit longer. Hey.
Yeah, I know. So that's, yeah. Well, let's go to Copper Flop then, I guess. And obviously here's the feature, but we'll quickly recap our last week. So I did this time write down who we copped and who we flopped.
Okay, good.
So we had a lot of successes, but we had some fails too. So successes, Nasiah. We said we'd cop him. I think that's probably a success. Everyone's still picking him up this week. If you got him last week, well done. Archie Roberts, again, same thing. Nick Newman, if you picked him up, that was great. We had Ridley as a fail. He was popularly traded in. He scored a 52, so a good fail for us. Farrow, he did score a 58. We said to cop him, but he's good cash chance still. I think that was probably, in my opinion, the last week you could have got him. Baz, Dacos, both just good.
Solid.
Murdoch, if you copped him last week, fantastic get. And same with Anderson, if you copped him, fantastic get. Petrarca we had as a maybe. I think that's probably a success. If you copped him, maybe that's good. If you didn't, it's probably not the end of the world. Tom Sparrow we had as a flop. There were better options and he scored a 79, so that's probably a success for us. And Hannah for the last one, that rookie. We said a cop, he scored 43 with a -4 break even. I think we're undecided on Rao, who we said was a flop, scored a 98, but he's got a hard fixture upcoming. So that's one to watch.
Yeah.
Cozzy, we said was a cop. He was disappointing, but he still should be good going forward. And Ginnivan, we said was a flop. Scored a 79, but hard run, so we'll wait and see. Here come our fails. There's a couple. So we said Ash was a flop. We've said this a couple of weeks in a row, I think, and he's come out and scored a 114 again. He just keeps getting it done over a ton. You're not disappointed if you've gone there. We said Heaney was a cop. That was a good one, wasn't it? Didn't play.
Turned out great.
Last night, so yeah, that was great. I think I was pushing the train a lot on Hugh McCluggage last week, and so I put him down as a maybe. 66 he scored last week, and he's still bottoming out, so definitely if you copped him, that's a bit of a fail. Horn Francis, we both said quite strongly was a flop because of his price, and he scored a 126. People are still trading into him this week, even though he's gone up. So, yeah, not great on our part. Rochelle and McDonald, we both said were cops for 67 and 66. Not great. Chad Warner, we said was a flop. I bought him in this week. I think if we'd recorded before yesterday, obviously I was trading him in, so I would have said cop. I think most people would after his 89 last week, but yeah, 89 last week, 121 this week, so probably not great for us to flop him last week. And Bailey Williams, we said was a cop. That didn't turn out great, did it?
Not quite, no.
So, let's start into this week, and I have a feeling I know your opinions on this first guy here. We're going to look at the defenders, and up to the top with our most, obviously, I've picked out the most relevant players here. Cal Wilkie. He's being traded in, probably the most out of any other week this week. 1.035 million he is. Scored a 130 last week, break even at 84, and now he plays West Coast. What are your thoughts?
I mean, instant reward. He's got an 84 break even. Like, he's just going to go up even more.
He is.
A little bit of value? No, I'm playing. But no, the bloke's gone 130s. He hasn't gone under a ton, I don't think. Has once 94, but he's gone 2 back-to-back 130s. People were launching into Grundy after 2 back-to-back 130s, and Grundy scored lower scores than Wilkie and was priced about the same. So, I mean, there's no reason you can't, other than eventually maybe this will drop off. But then again, Sands' game style kind of suits him. They swing it a lot, and he's right in the middle, and it goes to him each time. So, interesting to see. But I think you could. You know what? I'm just gonna say you could. Yep.
I think I'm still undecided on this. I think if you really want to go there, you can, but there's probably better options I would pick in the defence. I think every week I think, he's topped out. Like, we can't get him now. He's not going to average whatever. He's not going to average 100 for the rest of the year, which is about what he's priced at. But, like, he could. And next week he'll be priced at 102. He could average 102. Like, you want to get these guys underpriced, especially a risky guy who we haven't seen really like a breakout kind of season or like a top 6 season from. You know, if this was Whitfield who was doing this for the year and was priced the same, was averaging the same, all the same, we'd probably be saying launch, you'd think. But I think because it's Wilkie and it's not a name, it leaves people a bit wary of it.
And then there's that that key defender kind of mentality where you never know. Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit. Like you never actually know.
Does he get a matchup? Yeah, that kind of thing. But I mean, I think I'm happy to put that to rest. I mean, he's shown it over 7 games. I think we can happily say that he's scoring from the same point that like a halfback is scoring, or any of those defenders that we target anyway. So yeah, I'm saying it's a flop, but I don't think it'll be a flop pick. I just think there's better options around the price.
Okay.
Like we look just 11k lower, and you've got Archie Roberts. Who would you rather be trading into?
Honestly, I reckon I'd actually trade into Wilkie.
You look 38k cheaper to Nasiah Wanganeen Miller. Who would you rather be trading into?
You're probably doing that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably doing that one, yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, both of those guys have had slow starts to the season.
Let's put it we're probably copying Roberts and Nasiah, aren't we?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
All right, let's cop them. Who are you picking over the other one? I'm picking Roberts this week just for the Collingwood matchup, because that is the easiest matchup by far and away. And Nasiah has West Coast, who are like a light yellow, but it's not as good. Although their run is not bad for halfbacks and midfielders, so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I don't know. I reckon I'd probably go Nasiah just because he's cheaper by about 30k. But how many times this season have we been like, oh damn, I'm 3k short of doing this, or I'm 5k short of doing this?
Yeah.
I've always been going the cheap dude.
Archie Roberts has a 59 break even. Nasiah has a 98 break even. So Archie's going to make a lot of cash quick. And I struggle to see how he doesn't go 120 this week. Yeah, I mean they're both cops.
No,
it's really whichever way you're swinging.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm going Roberts first. Nick Newman, do you think you can still get him this week? I think, yeah, definitely. That's a cop if you're looking for a value option. I did include Kitty Coleman here. He's not super highly traded into, but he's, what's that, 56k cheaper than Newman. Newman's got a break even of 67. Kitty's got a break even of 65. Newman's coming off a 101. Kitty's coming off an 80. Newman plays Freo. Kitty plays Adelaide. And if I look at their fixtures, Newman does have an easier 4 weeks coming up. And then it kind of evens out. Both kind of have a yellow 6 weeks and 8 weeks to come. But Carlton do have the easier fixture for the rest of the year. So are you just paying up for Newey?
Yeah, probably. I reckon Carlin's run is too good to be looked at, and Nick Newman was. It was only 2 seasons ago. He was the number 1 defender in the and finished the season the most expensive. So we know he can do it before. Kitty, we haven't kind of seen that from before. So I think you could just trust the guy to get it done. I have that question this week. I'm trading into Newman anyway. So
yeah, okay, yeah. And have you got Colby? I haven't included him on here, but would you be trading into him over any of the two?
I'm going Newman first. Like I said, I've got that question this week. I'm going to Newman. I just keep looking at my team. I've done so many sideways. It's hard to keep track of how many like proper players people have brought in. I'm still fitting 2 in the forward line, 2 in the midfield, 2 in the back. A bit behind, but
I mean, I think with these value defenders, you probably can pick up 1 or 2. I mean, I've already got Kitty, and I picked up Newman last week, so Kitty's just never going to be in my trade plans because I don't need 3 of them, and none of them are mid defenders either, so I can't flip any of them.
right.
You would think Kitty without Zorko is going to be good, but it's just I think I'm almost happy
you trust the others.
Yeah, and I think if you don't have any of the 3, you're going Newman. If you don't have Kitty, you're going Newman.
Yeah.
If you don't have Colby... Sorry, if you don't have any of the 3, you're going Newman. If you do have Colby, but you don't have Newman or Kitty, you're probably going Newman. If you already have Newman, you're probably going... I'd be going Kitty over Colby almost. Just because this threat of the forward time, I think, is a bit... You've lucked out a bit in not getting Colby. Now you can kind of avoid him. I'd be more willing to take that on, I think.
Yeah, okay. I think that's fair, yeah.
So we'll put Kitty as a cop. And then we've got a couple of rookies. Jacob Farrow is still here. He's still being traded in. I'm kind of happy to give this a flop. I think 579k with a 20 break even, and he scored a 58 last week, which, I mean, he should go berserk against Collingwood, which is probably why people are trading him in, but are you just trading in? I mean, he's a mid-pricer now. He's not a rookie anymore, or at least not rookie priced. You're trading into a guy who's probably only going to go up to maybe 650, 700k. You're going to make 120, 130k off him when you could just be going down to another rookie in another line, and we've got plenty this week, so I think I'm happy to put flop on this.
I think so. I think you could do that, yeah. I think that's fair enough.
Yeah. There's one more rookie in the defence. That's Charlie Edwards. He is a defender mid. So he played CBAs for the Crows last week. He's 258k with a break even of 2. Scored a 60 last week. So if we look over to our teams, I know that Dawson is back this week, and Edwards is on the bench, so yet to be dropped as such. Is named 4th on the bench, and it's not number ordered. So I would say he still makes a side. CBA wise, he probably doesn't get as many, but I don't know, maybe if you're looking for a defender, he's probably the best kind of guy to generate cash back there.
Yeah, I reckon he is. I don't know. I think that's right.
Yeah, we'll put a cop on him. All right, let's move to the midfield. And there's probably, I'm going to say there's 5 guys that we're looking for if you're looking for a premium. So we've got the 2 that we mention every week, Bailey Smith, Nick Dacos. Bailey Smith is he's 70k more with a lower break even, plays Port. Nick Dacos is 70k less than Baz, obviously, 133 break even, plays Essendon.
133 break
Nick's
even.
outscoring him this week, right? Yeah, Nick's got a 133 break
so.
even.
I like that. I might get him.
Surely he gets 133 this week, though.
I reckon he'll 123. I reckon 123, between 123 and 125. That's what I'm saying for Nick Dacos. Yeah, I reckon Andy McGrath's going to run with him.
Greenest matchup. Ooh, okay.
I reckon Andy McGrath will spend some time. Well, we saw McGrath didn't do an awesome job last week, but he certainly did a number on Jack Steele. Is that who they played last week? No, they didn't play them last week.
Yeah.
They played someone else.
No, they played Gold Coast.
Gold Coast. Who did he run with? He ran with someone. Anyway, he's okay. Obviously, Nick Dacos is next level, but McGrath's pretty quick for his size. He's not the tallest of blokes, but he's like stocky. So anyway, I mean, here we are saying Nick's going to get tagged to a 125. Like,
yeah, I know, right? So if he doesn't get tagged, that's like a 160. So, I mean, you can be launching into both of those this week if you have the cash.
Correct.
I think is probably the bottom line. If you have the cash to go Baz, is there any part of you that would just go the 70k cheaper guy in Dacos? Sorry, 60k cheaper is 62k.
Yeah, maybe. I think on a whole, Baz will outscore him for the year, but I think the plan is to eventually get both of them. And over the next 5, like you talked about how Geelong have the red matchup, I think for the next 5, Dacos probably might outscore him for the next 5. So you could probably go Dacos and then get in Baz later. Because we're going to have them both at the end of the year. It's a matter of when, not if. So,
exactly. The price difference is not... I mean, it's still value getting him 70k cheaper. Those type of margins, like you said before, the amount of times you miss a trade by 2 or 3k. But I mean... even the matchup this week, Dacos should outscore Baz, and you're getting him cheaper. Like that probably is just, the line, really.
Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting... I mean, like, end of the day, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and yeah, like you said, you're going to have 2 of them in your side at one point, or you're going to want to. You just pick whichever one you like for the next kind of run, which if you're thinking
whichever one gives you less FOMO.
Dacos, yeah, exactly. But I mean, obviously Bailey Smith. So over the next 4, Collingwood goes 62 orange, Geelong go 59 red. Over the next 6, Collingwood goes 64 yellow, Geelong goes 60 dark orange. And over the next 8, Collingwood goes 64 yellow and Geelong goes 63 yellow. And then over for the rest of the year, they both go 64 light orange. So Dacos definitely has the better fixture over the next 4 to 6, and then they both kind of even out. But I mean, Bailey's got 3 red matchups and a dark orange matchup in the next 5 weeks. And the one that isn't is a yellow matchup as well. It doesn't play a green team until round 13, so that's in 7 weeks. So you're just going Dacos. I think you're just going Dacos because of that. I mean, not that should affect Baz too much. He's Bailey Smith, but that's probably what I'd be sitting at.
I think so too.
Yeah. All right. There are some players under them that you could be going though. So Zach Merritt is an interesting name that's definitely floated into my side a couple of times this week. So 1.061 million he is with an 85 break even after his 151 last week against the Gold Coast Suns. Plays Collingwood this week. I think if you're looking there and you're looking for a value option, I mean, he's the next best pick, I think, after Baz and Dacos.
Agreed. He's gone under 100 once, and that was against North. And it was the 70, mind you, but still under 100 once. 122 a couple of weeks ago, 150 coming off a 151, and now he's going up price. You break even 85, you probably jump on it. I don't know if you do it before the other two. I still think he's probably after them. But if you don't have the cash, you're very happy to just take Merritt by all means.
Definitely. So his run goes yellow, orange, green, yellow. So it's not bad. He doesn't play a red team, which is good. And to be honest, there's only 4 green matchups in the game right now. That's Adelaide, Essendon, Gold Coast, and West Coast. And he plays West Coast in round 12. And then he plays Carlton, who are probably almost a green matchup in round 13. So then maybe just before his bye, his fixture opens up a little bit. He's probably got the better, not a bad fixture coming up as well. And like you said, that one score under a ton was against North. So that probably benefits him. I think you're copping him. I think if you have the money to go Baz or Dacos, you just go there.
Yeah.
Just lock one of them in, because Merritt's still a risk. I don't see those other two as a risk, but I think if that's all you can get to, that's a cop. Or do you go unders and do you target a couple Giants boys with a good fixture coming up? So ideally we're targeting them after this North matchup, which is a red matchup.
Correct.
But I'm talking about Finn Callahan and Clayton Oliver. Now, Callahan's probably the one you go to. Yes, might pick up a tag here and there. 1.004 million, so he's only about 80k more than Clary. He does have a 123 break even because he got tagged to 75 last week, but he is capable of putting together some really good scores. So if we look at his year so far, he is averaging 99.2. He's gone 75 last week, but then 111 against the Tigers, 116 against Collingwood, 98 against the Saints, 109 against the Dogs, and 86 against the Hawks in that opening round game where no one really scored. So he really has put together a mostly 100 season. Then that easy run coming up is Gold Coast. Sorry, hold on, let me get that up properly here. Gold Coast, who are at 76 green, Essendon, who are 84 green. Then he goes West Coast, who are 74 green. So he plays 3 of those 4 green matchups that I was talking about in those next 3 weeks. So I think we're definitely going to want him for there, and none of those teams should tag him, I don't think.
Agreed. I think, but then again, I do think that is probably 2 of the reasons you brought up that I think I'd go Clary first, because he's A, cheaper, and B, he's not going to get tagged at all. He's going to go to Callahan or Ash or Whitfield first. You said he got tagged to a 75 last week. I don't really like that opportunity. That's why we're looking to get Butters out. Like we want the untaggables. Like we're getting a Nick Dacos, we're getting a Bailey Smith, even a Zach Merritt's probably close to untaggable because he just moves to halfback and finds the pill. Wanganeen Miller has shown that he can be untaggable. We're looking at those players, and Callahan is a taggable player. I'd correct. I'm not massive on it. Clary, we know he's gone like 100s in the past for years, but he finally. Now, there's no stats to back me up, but he actually looks like he's getting. Looks to the eye that he's putting together a bit more of a better season. Like he's always been racking up, like he's been getting 30 disposals and whatnot, but now he's starting to get the marks and he's starting to get the tackles. Like he's got 5 tackles 2 weeks in a row. He got 4 marks this week. Last week against the Swans. I just think it's starting to click a little bit more for Clary, and I think that sure Callahan might outscore him for most of the, let's say, 4 out of 6 weeks, Callahan will outscore him, but then if he gets tagged to one of them, overall Clary averages more and he's cheaper. I think it's probably it's like the smarter move, I think, personally. But
I think I might be,
each their own.
You talked me into that. I was quite hot on Callahan, but I think Oliver might be the value play. I mean, if we're talking about going Dacos over Baz because he's that much cheaper, do we talk about just going Oliver to Callahan? And I've already seen Callahan's name pop up as a target for next week from certain people. So he's already on the radar of a lot. I think he might be, if we don't have any issues, he might be quite a popular trade target. So maybe we go a bit more unique in Oliver. So Oliver's last game against Sydney in round 6, so last week, had a season high kick to handball ratio. Second. He did have a better one in round 1. Season high marks, season high or season equal tackles, second season equal time on ground, second season high CBAs. Like he had a good game, and it looks like mainly of his past, I would say 3. He's gone 113, 89, 104 in his last 3, and even before that against the Saints, 96. He's looking to put together a good run of games. So 58 in the preseason, then 89, 79 in round 0 and 1. He's actually not had that bad of a season. He's really only scored 3 times under 90, and 2 of them were in 89. So he's kind of gone under 90 once, and he's priced at 927k. The thing I will say is his break-even is 87, so I think that if you're wanting to grab one, you wanted to grab Oliver, I would rather do it this week if he can get into your plans. And both of us have 2 uniques in the midfield. We both have Brayshaw, and then I've got LDU, and you've got Ed Richards.
Yeah.
We both... you've got Baz, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I don't have Baz or Dacos, and you've got Baz, but no Dacos. Would you rather be trying to cut whatever other trade you're doing on the other side just to get up to them, as opposed to bringing in another point of difference premium in the midfield? Because that's my thinking, is I've got Brayshaw and LDU. That's my eggs are in those 2's baskets. I can't have a third one. And that was my thinking with McCluggage, that maybe not go him last week. Lucky I didn't.
Yeah, that's fair.
Shit. But I just don't know if I can do it. Whereas if Callahan is highly owned next week, I kind of feel safe in going that. And I still think he could be a bit of value because he won't pick up a tag over the next 3 weeks after this week.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think you're probably just best off going the big dog, eh? It depends where you're kind of ranked. Like if you want to take that that risk, if your rank's kind of like within striking range, then maybe going the big dog's the best move. But if you're a bit lower and you want to make some risky moves, then there's no reason why you couldn't. They should be okay. Should be in a big word there.
Clary should be fine. He should at worst average 90 to 95 for the rest of the year, which is still kind of above-ish or around where he's priced at. And at best, I could see him averaging 100, which meets his value. And I think that would be a great pickup halfway through the year to grab a guy who's going to average 100, which would mean he'd have to average more than 100 from here on out, and you're going to grab him at 927k. So I think we're putting a cop on both of them, but it's probably team dependent. Is probably what we've come to, I think. And we'll probably have more of a discussion ready about that next week, when we actually probably, hopefully, like I said, have not many injuries or none to have to trade out, and can maybe be more thinking about upgrading. Because I mean, going a fattened rookie down to a basement price rookie or a low rookie, and then going another fattened rookie up to Clary or Callahan, that's just a perfect one-up, one-down trade.
Yeah, that's good. You're happy with that, yeah.
All right, we have some value options before we get into the rookies in the midfield, and it's a couple of Essendon boys, Darcy Parish and Elijah Sardis. I've put them on here because they're kind of highly traded in this week, not too highly traded in, but Parish has scored 2 tons in a row. Is the pride all that's stopping us that is getting back to him, or can we genuinely not go there?
I mean, you probably could, honestly. You could probably go there. I don't think there's anything wrong with going there. He's going to break in even a 54, and same thing with Oliver. It's actually clicking now. He starts to look a lot better. His first time this year, his time on ground's gone above 80, so he's 80 and 82. Before that, he's just hitting 60s. Like, there's clearly a change. Maybe you've got some pride. Maybe you don't. I think you might have to look past it for a player like this, because I think that this could be an actual player. Like, I think there's more than enough evidence to prove that he'll probably do this again and could continue to do this.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're happy to put the cop on him. I will not put the cop on Elijah Sardis. I think I owned him a couple of years ago as a mid-pricer. To me, he just doesn't have he's just not an AFL level player still yet. I mean, he scored 89 last week, which is why everyone's talking about him. And he looked good in the side. He looked solid in the side, but I just can't do it. I just can't do it.
Okay.
And he didn't even have a He did 65% CBAs after 61% CBAs the week before against Melbourne, in which I will tell you what he scored. But yeah, I don't think this one's for me, to be honest. It's just too much. I mean, really, you'd be sidewaysing a fattened rookie to him as well.
Yeah.
And he's probably just going to keep scoring 80s, which is what some of our rookies are scoring anyway. So he's gone 85 and 89 in those two games with 60-ish% CBAs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree. I don't think you can. You've kind of hit it on the head. Like I haven't had Sardis in the past, so I can't really say too much on him. But I think
So interestingly, looking at the CBAs for Essendon, so over the first few weeks, it's been Caldwell and Merritt getting around 70%-ish. There's a game where Merritt has 40 and a game where Merritt has 93. So 70-ish average. And Sam Durham as well, getting about mid-60% average. And with Darcy Parish getting about mid-60%. That's their main four, with Parish and Durham on the lower side, Caldwell and Merritt on the higher side. Over the last 2 weeks, and we even saw a little bit of this start to go towards that way in the Bulldogs game. So against Melbourne and Gold Coast, where the Suns have won and then almost beaten Gold Coast, we've seen Parish take a little bit more of a hit to go maybe more mid-70s from mid-60s. Caldwell's gone from 70s to mid-40s. Sardis has come in and gone mid-60s. Merritt's gone from 70s to mid-40s. And Andy McGrath has also had, over the last two games, 43% last week and 77% the week before now. That may have been because he was doing some rolls. But yeah, and Durham, by the way, is no CBAs. Had 11% against Gold Coast and 0% against Melbourne. So they've really switched things up, which is probably why Parish is doing a little better. He's in there a bit more, which, I mean, we said in the preseason, if he's in there more, we want to see his time on ground up, which it is too. He'll get that. And yeah, I guess Sardis and McGrath being in there, especially Sardis, that's probably why his scoring is good. Does it stay is my concern, and my answer to that is probably no.
Yeah, I don't know. It's none of us are Brad Scott. We'll never be able to know for sure. And he has been known to do some weird things in the past. So whether they look to be playing better footy now, whether they stick to it, like these last couple games, their win against the D's and then even their loss against Gold Coast, they looked really good. So it might stay the same. It probably will. So based off that, I suppose you can use that to figure out what you want to do. But I don't mind the play of Parish. I think out of all of them, I reckon he's probably the one that I like the most. Even over a Merritt, I just think that it just looks good on paper. Like, if you, and this is not, you're not tossing up, you're not holding 300k cash, but like if this means that your other trade, instead of getting a rookie, you can get like a fattened up bloke. Let's say you're going from that's like 300k between Parish and Merritt that you can just use elsewhere. Like that fixes up a lot of things.
If most people will be looking to trade in their forward line, and that shows here when we go to the forwards. If you were going, like I know throughout the week, it was Myers to Rowan Marshall or a Cam Zurhaar, and then it was Windsor up to a Nasai or a Roberts. Would you is it a better idea if that Nasai Roberts was a midfielder? If you're going Jagger Smith to Nick Dacos and then you're going Myers to Romar, or would you rather go Jagger Smith to Darcy Parish and Myers to Christian Petrarca or Jason Horne-Francis?
I think I like that second one more. I think
you're just locking in a forward.
Correct. And the forward mid prices, as we know, as we both traded into Rochelle and McDonald last week, they're known to plot. Whereas Parish, maybe not so much.
Yeah, well, he is definitely known to flop, I would say, but...
yes, but maybe now it's changed.
Hopefully not anymore.
Finally getting above 60% on the ground.
Yeah, I know, exactly. And we do have some rookies here. So Milan Murdoch, you just got to cop that. He's still got a minus 17 break even. Angus Anderson, if you don't have him, you got to cop that minus 25 break even. Patrick Rechko and Sam Cumming, a couple of Richmond guys. I think we're waiting on Cumming, maybe to see if we can see what he scores. Sorry, I just realised I said we can wait on Cumming. we can wait on him to see what he scores next week, and then his break even will drop because he's still got a 37 break even. He's not going to make much this week, and he is 326k anyways. You go on the cheaper guy, and Rechko 262k with a -1 break even. So all three of them are cops. I would put coming as a flop. What's your ranking of Murdoch, Anderson, Rechko? If you didn't have any of them,
as you just said,
another trade on the other side.
100%. Murdoch, Anderson, Rechko. Yeah, simple as that.
I'd almost be going Anderson over Murdoch.
I don't think so. I just think that if they're within striking range and they're below 500k, Murdoch is probably going to do this for the rest of the season. Anderson might not. Like, who's taking Murdoch's spot in the side?
True, very true. And
Collingwood have a few injuries, not necessarily in his position, but yeah.
Yeah. The thing is that Anderson's 120k cheaper with a -25 break even, and Murdoch's got a -17 break even. And Anderson plays the easiest matchup for Miz this week as well, so he's going to go up. Like, he's going to probably start to go up towards Murdoch's level. I mean, if you didn't have either of them, I would even not blame you, unless you really needed scoring on the field, doing a double downgrade from two rookies. I don't mind that, and then you can go bang bang next week.
Probably could.
Especially because there's a couple of options, like we just talked about, in the midfield to go next week. So I don't mind you doing that. I mean, I'm going Anderson this week because I missed him last week. I've had Murdoch since the start. So, yeah, maybe. I personally would be going Anderson, but yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And
yeah,
I don't know, I just feel like you want to have both of them. And if you go Murdoch this week, next week you'll get out of price range. Next week Anderson will be where Murdoch is now. So it's like...
Yeah. And I agree on the same logic with Anderson and Rechko. I think you probably want both of them, but I'm going Anderson this week because Anderson is going to be 480k next week, and Rechko will probably only get up to 300, 320, so I can still pick him up next week.
Yeah.
All right, let's go into the rucks. So there was a bit of talk throughout the week. I heard some people saying maybe to trade out of McAndrew after a bad score. Do we just upgrade him now? Or do we shove him to the bench and upgrade our R3 now? You were probably doing that with Brodie Grundy, so we're probably talking in the past tense. You probably would have already done it because he did play last night for a 116. I don't personally think that is something we need to be doing. I think there's plenty. I think it would be a little bit dumb to cull the best rookie that we've had so far this year. I know that it would get you up to Grundy, who is the best player, and I think that would be a great trade-in target. I'm so mad I went Gawn over him in the end. But I think that if you're trading McAndrew before you're trading Jax, before you're trading Jagger, before you're trading Blamires, before you're trading even guys like Devin Robertson, Connor Buderick, some of these people that have maybe been injured and dropped over. Caleb Windsor, you're trading him before. Like, I think he's so far down the pecking order. The people are only doing it just so they can get someone on the other side in, which I get, but I just don't think it's smart. And obviously the other option as a rookie in the ruck is Oscar Steen, 347k, 7 break even. I probably think it's just maybe a little bit too late. You're probably just going a red dot there if you need to downgrade off an R3, aren't you?
Yeah, no, I think so. And I think Harry Barnett's the best one to do it because West Coast play the best Sunday games, and you got to look at whoever you want. It's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll put both of them as a flop. And now to the forward line, which is pretty busy this week. So we've got our top line options. There are, I'm going to say there's 4 guys over 900k, and they're our premiums.
Yeah.
Cozzy Pickett at 986k, Christian Petrarca at 969k, Jason Horne-Francis at 906k, and Justin McInerney at 903k. So obviously McInerney played last night for a 75, which was underwhelming. If you rank the 4 of them, how do you rank the 4 of them?
Well, I don't know, and this is where I'm shopping this week as well. So what you say here you might sway me in what I do. I've gone Cozzy above the other 2. I just think, Horne-Francis is known to drop low scores. Cozzy has dropped a couple low scores, but then again, I think influential wise, he's a far better. Maybe not far. Far is. Because Horne-Francis is in his own... I mean, he's literally the name of my fantasy team. So I'm massive on Horne-Francis. But I just think Cozzy's influence on the game is probably bigger than Horne-Francis's can be. And they're both pop ceilings. And they both kind of play for mid-teams. It's... I don't know.
So
I'm kind of putting Petrarca to the bottom. Okay, yep.
The interesting thing here is that all 3 of them have kind of the same role. So they're all midfielders that also push forward, that also kick goals and build their score off goals, and that sometimes even start in the forward 50. So if we look at that from a fixture difficulty point of view, so Cosy plays for Melbourne for mids over the next 4 weeks. Let's just look at 4 weeks. He goes light orange, and as a half forward, he goes green, light green. Then if we look at Petrarca, who plays for the Suns, over the next 4 weeks, Gold Coast go red in the mids, and as a wing half forward, they go yellow. So Cozzy wins out over Petrarca, and then if we look at Horne-Francis in the mids, Port Adelaide go very light yellow, and then as a forward, he goes orange. So it's probably Cozzy for the fixture, just in the short term. I mean, if we look in the long term, it probably, to me, looks like probably still Melbourne, to be honest. Melbourne and Port probably both go a bit greener towards the end. Melbourne are greener for that forward kind of role, though. So yeah, I probably agree with you. I think it is Cozzy first, even though he costs more. And as a Cozzy owner as well, he has been good this year. And I'll talk about it later in my Well, I'll say it now, but I wrote this in my captains because he is number 8. Little sneak peek.
Okay.
His scores from round 1 to now. Round 1 he went 91, then he went 78. 134, 98. 124, 80. So he really does kind of go 1 week on, 1 week off. But even his off scores is like an 80, a 78, a 98. Like it's still...
And that's still
pretty
good,
pretty good sub 100 scores, especially for a forward. So, we talk about our forwards. We want them to be averaging at least 80. If he can average 80, he's close to the top 6, he'll be fine. Because he's two floor scores this year have been 78 and 80. And then he's gone big with a 124 and 134. So I think that Cozzy is the one out of them.
Okay, yeah, I think so. That's what I've been doing. That's what I heard. I've traded in, I hope. So I'm going to stick to it. So there you go.
Yeah.
Good to know I was doing the right thing.
I like it. Now let's go to some mid prices, and there are 4 that I want to talk about. So Joshua Shelley, we still probably need to talk about him. 862k, 85 break even now, but 67 last week. Does play Brisbane this week, so that'll be another tough matchup for him. And possibly, so Jared Berry's injured, but possibly, I don't know if Dunkley can run with him. Dunkley won't tag Rankin because they tag midfielders mostly, and it's kind of not a tag, it's more of a run with thing. I think Rochelle is probably the one to get it. They definitely won't tag Dawson because he's just coming back. I think Rochelle is probably the one, so I would be avoiding him. Chad Warner, obviously, I really liked, and I've traded him in, and he's done well. So if you traded him in, well done. The other 2 here that are kind of on the lower end of the 700k. So Rochelle is a lot more expensive than all of those guys, by the way. Murphy Reed is actually quite highly traded into this week at 747k. He's got a 57 break even after his 106 last week, and now he comes up against Carlton. And we actually did have a question come in from Brody on the Instagram. So if you don't follow us on Instagram, follow at offthemark.fantasy, and we post our questions for every episode, so you can ask us some things. He did ask if Murphy Reed was a top 6 forward. I don't think he's top 6, but I think he's probably top 10, which I think is enough.
Okay.
I think if you can lock in a top 10 forward, I think you're all right. So I think that we can... He's still cheap, like 747k, considering what he's done for the year. He hasn't really put a bad score out. His bad scores have been like 70s, which is still fine for what you paid for him, and probably what you're still paying for him at 747k. He's priced at like 72. If his floors are 70, that's still a bit of value. He's just going to take a while to get there.
Yeah. I don't mind it. I like Murphy Reed. I've liked him. I've said that you can go into him a couple of weeks. I said it on the week that he scored a 70, but I also said on the week that he scored a ton. So, and he'll probably do that to you as well. Kind of the same as Cozzy a little bit in the sense that he's gone 106, 70, 90, 70, 80, 70. So,
yeah,
up and down kind of thing. But priced at 747, you're not really asking for too much more than that. You're asking for them to hit a good score and then just be around where they're priced at. Like that, if they can do that, then that's pretty good, and you'd be happy with that as a player. And then comes up against the Blues this week, who should be an easier option. Maybe I don't know. You scale one something otherwise.
Half forwards, which is quite solely what he is like a forward that pushes up. Carlton are a 45 yellow, so not easy, not hard. That should be an 85 to a 90 probably. Although with these easier teams like Carlton that are a bit shitter, and like Freo are going to thump us, so that's another thing. You probably do inflate that by a little bit, even if they're not green. Murphy Reed probably does score a little bit more just because they're going to win by that much. Whereas an easy team like Collingwood, who maybe are not as, they're not a top 4 side, but they're better, probably could have a chance at beating Freo over there. Maybe that is just an 85. So, yeah, I'd be pretty confidently saying that Reed should be good this week. And in terms of Freo's matchups coming up, it does go pretty much orange for the rest of the year. So, over the next few weeks, they go yellow, red, orange, green, orange over the next 6. So one red matchup in there, which is Bulldogs, and then mostly yellow and green. So he should be good. And I think that the next guy, Rowan Marshall at 734k, you're only saving 13k by going there instead of Murphy Reed. I know that I got a bit carried away on Monday saying I was going to go there even if it was 1 or 2 weeks. The temptation to go there with a West Coast matchup this week is real, and I understand that. But I have genuinely not put him in my top 8 captains, which seems ridiculous, but just because of the reason that I just don't think anyone needs him. We're not doing this for 1 week. Tom De Koning will be back next week. And I think that the fact they've given him a week rest is because they want to play him in the ruck. They don't want to rest him forward and then have to do... Because if they played him this week, I think they would have to rest him forward for at least 2 weeks because he doesn't get a proper rest. Whereas giving him the proper rest now, I think gives him the ability to play ruck next week. So you're essentially getting like a 140 this week and then back to Marshall's 60s and you're stuck with another problem. Or you take Reed's 70s and 80s and take that for the rest of the year and lock in probably a top 10 forward. Not a top 6 forward, but a top 10 forward that you could probably keep at F6. I think that's where we're going.
I like that.
Now, there is a bit of value, about 200k down, and it's Cam Zurhaar, 532k, with a 30 break-even after his 113 off half-back. Plays GWS this week. Clarko did say in the presser this morning that he will play half-back this week, pretty certainly, and that it will kind of be a week-to-week thing as to where he plays. So, to me, that sounds like they don't want to lock him into a half-back position. They're happy playing him there now. Whether that's this week, whether that's the next month, I don't know. Maybe it means that they move him back to the forward line for a couple games and then a couple games later he goes back to the back line. The problem with this, and I guess maybe this has got his confidence up a bit, so maybe he will never truly go back to this scoring this year, but there is a reason he's 532k. When he plays forward, he scored 71, so from round 1. 71, 43, 30, 45, 38. So apart from that 71, which was that game against Port that they did quite well in, he's gone straight 40, average 40 pretty much. It's not good.
Yeah, and you don't want to be, as you said with Marshall, do you want to be trading in to him? Maybe he'll get 1 or 2 weeks at half-back and then Clarko goes, you know what, back to forward, and then you're stuck with another problem. I think you're just in the forward line, I reckon... I like the value plays of a Parrish and a Newman and Colby who you might not be in your side by the end of the year, but in the forward line, I think you just got to hit it with a straight bat, don't you?
Yeah. And I think one thing we've forgotten about, because I was very much of the opinion that you just go mid-price in the forward line because that's just, you just have to. The premiums were not worth it at the start of the year. It's kind of like the rucks where if you go there, there's no one to sideways to. If you go Marshall at 734k and then he bombs out and goes maybe up to 800k, who do you go to unless you're upgrading to a premium? And same with Zurhaar. If he bombs out at 600k, there is no one to go to unless you upgrade. So you might as well just do it this week instead of trying to, maybe get a guy who could be a premium. And go somewhere like Parrish where it's so easy to downgrade. We've got 4 rookies in there that are available this week pretty much that you could be going. And you've got someone like Sardis you could go down to. It's not that far away to go to Clayton Oliver. You've got so many options there, and same with the defence, I think. So I think we're staying away from the mid-prices. I think what you're doing with Cosby is the right move. Just go to the top.
Yep. Nice one.
And then we do have a rookie there with Sullivan Roby, who's 343k, 14 break even, scored a 64 last week, finally popped off. So I think he could be good if you were looking for a rookie there for some reason. Probably not a fieldable option, but I think you could go there for a bit of cash.
Nice.
All right, that's cop or flop done. Oh, sorry. Bit tired. Let's go into field or yield. So who are the rookies that you're fielding and benching this week?
Defense, I'm going Jacob Farrow, and you told me Blom Myers was out. Now I hope that's true because I had Sarong on field.
Pretty certain he is. Yes.
Okay, good. Because I had Sarong on field, and then I swapped him for Blom Myers just so I could get a look at Sarong just in case he bombed out. And so I've got Sarong as my emergency, Blom Myers on field. So if Blom Myers plays, I'd be upset. But if not, I'm taking Sarong to 80, which is awesome. Midfield, I'm playing Murdoch and Anderson. over Jagger, Smith, and Grill. I think that's a safe move. And then forward line, I'm playing Cook and Marshall over Lombard. If I had a looper in the midfield, I'll tell you what I would do. If I had a red dot in the midfield and I was trying to find ways to get Dev Rob into my midfield so I could do this, but I can't, I would be putting the E on Grill, and if he scores anything over a 63 or a 60, maybe just a 60. If he scores a 60, I'd put him on field over Zach Butters.
That's a conversation we have to have, I guess.
It's a conversation you got to have. Does he get tagged? Pretty sure he gets tagged.
He'll get tagged. Horn Francis might get some attention, but I think that Marlon just goes to him because he's been able to do it successfully. And I don't remember the record he was as a Port supporter. Geelong have beaten you every time they've tagged him, right? Like the 2 times they tagged him last year.
Probably, yeah.
I think I'm just happy to just stick Butters on field. I'm not... Because if you loop him and he scores a 120 and doesn't get tagged or works through the tag somehow, that's just like
season
the worst
over
thing ever.
Yeah.
Like I would rather be wrong about it and take a 50 on the field, like probably everyone else will be doing. Like I think the thing is that looping him and like I've got a Sarong with an 80 there on my bench, but I'm looping that and taking Jagger off the field before I'm taking Butters off the field.
Okay.
Realistically, I probably trust Jagger to score a 60 more than Butters this week. But if I am in the 10% that bench Butters this week and he goes 110, genuinely season over. I'm going to drop and I need every score I can get. So I just...
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gunning for him. I'm gunning for him.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rookies I have on field. So I've got Grill at D6 in my midfield. I did loop Jacks, but I'm not going to take the 57. And I've got Blamires there if I wanted to. So the thing with Blamires, there's been rumours over yesterday and today that he will be dropped. He was named in the extended squad. He is named in the last 3 there, but it is number ordered. Although they've had some big ins. So Tristan Sherry is back in, which obviously won't affect him. But Finn O'Sullivan is back in as well. And so Blamires has been kind of playing like a wing half back. And with Zerha back there now, as well as McKercher and Caleb Daniels still playing back there, and Luke Parker. Also, all 3 of those, Parker, Daniel, McKercher, are all named on the half back with Zerha named in the forward pocket, but Clarko said that he'll most likely play off half back. He trained off half back today as well.
Yeah,
You're not having 5 half backs in one side. So I just think that, it's combined with the rumours, I'd be pretty confident that he will be out. So in my midfield, I did loop Sarong. And I was going to do that with Dyson Sharp, like I said earlier, but he's obviously now playing. So I've had to not loop Cook and Marshall in my forward line, move Robertson into my midfield for Jagger, and I'm looping that. And then I've got Farrow and Murdoch on field. And then the forward line, I've gone for Todd over Cook. Now, this is still... I don't really know where to go here. But Cook plays Brisbane in Brisbane. Marshall plays Geelong over here. I just think that there will be more marks available for him. I think I trust him.
I think that's fair. I like that. I think... Yeah. But Cook's been in pretty good form. He looks pretty good.
He does. He can
I think that's
my only problem.
That's true. I think it's going to be so marginal, the difference between them, that you'd be okay to just take or whatever, and go, maybe I've lost, because it's not like, oh damn, I lost 20 points. It'd be like, oh okay, I lost 10 there, but I reckon, I don't think they'll score that far different. Yeah.
The other thing is the other thing I thought about is because Port play first. Yeah, Port play on the Saturday and Crows play on the Sunday. I could emergency Marshall, and if he scores like 100 or something, or goes like really big, I could probably pick whether I want to loop Sarong's 80 or Marshall's, whatever his score is on the field, because I can do that either way. And then do I either field Jagger or do I field Cook is the other thing as well. So like it's, I can loop with both of them, but that would then force me to have Marshall on the bench. And I don't know. I just, if then he scored, if Marshall scored a 70, I'd probably want to take that over Cook. but I wouldn't want to take it over taking Sarong's 80 for Jagger. Like, it's just, I only have one loop and I can use it both
that's
times.
fair.
It's really confusing, but it's, yeah. So I think I'm just going to go Marshall, cut my losses if it's a big points differential. I'm just going to go there. But yeah, I like when my rookies are. So at the moment, I've only got one rookie in defence, one rookie in the forward line, and 3 in the midfield with McAndrew at R2 as well. So I think I'm looking pretty good.
I like it.
All right, quick bit into weather watch, and then we'll get to some captains. So there's just one game to watch for the weather. It's Brisbane v Adelaide at the Gabba. High chance of showers, most likely in the morning and afternoon, which is when the game is 0 to 4 mils and light winds. So I would predict probably a bit of rain, a bit slippery in that game there. So that might not be good for some of those guys. Maybe it is smarter to go Marshall or Overcook. But into the captains. So last week, captains averaged 104.11. So the week before that, averaged 105.25. So I've had a good couple of weeks. Not bad. Sarong and Brayshaw as a duo let me down. That wasn't nice, but hopefully we're going to hit, they're going to average 110 this week. I'm telling you. So at number 8, we do have Cozzy Pickett. He doesn't have a great history against the Tigers, but he should still be good. He's having his career best year. He's averaged 57 against the Tigers in his career, 63 in the last 4 years. And I spoke before about how his score's quite on and off. He is due for an on week after an 80 last week and a 124 the week before. So maybe it's a sign that he's, we're in for a treat. I wouldn't trust that and put him as your captain off of that, but if he's all you got, he's fine. Number 7 is Jack Steele. He averaged 110 against the Tigers over the last 3 games, 101 last year when he played them. So Richmond are a light orange for midfielders, but regardless, I think Steele's the type of guy to feast here against the Tigers. Number 6, I've got Jack Sinclair. He's had a great recent run against the Eagles with a 139 last year, a 110 and an 84 the year before. The Eagles are a light yellow for defenders, but a good one can pop on a good day. They just don't let everyone feed. So usually those kind of like defenders that average 80 kind of go 60, and the big guys go really big, and that's shown. So last week, Jordan Clark 117, the week before Bruin 120, the week before that Bison Sarong for Sydney, both went 108 and 105. The week before that Farrell and Burgoyne went 109 and 100, and the week before that Caleb Daniel went 114. So Sinclair should be a nice safe 110 to 130, I think, to roll into on the Sunday. Number 5 is Max Gawn. So Max Heath is still in, which is a little flag here, but otherwise it's him versus Samson Ryan. He should be fantastic against Richmond, and he should come back firing against a poor week last week. Number 4 is Bailey Smith. He probably just cuts off his ceiling a little bit with the red matchup in Port Adelaide and at Adelaide Oval too. Although ceiling premiums against Port have been good, with Nasiah scoring 139 and Sheezel with a 118, so it can be done. But I would probably rather go any of these 3 above. Now, one of these 3 above is number 3, which is Brady Grundy. I would have probably put him here, to be honest. He scored a 116. If you VC'd him, I think you just take that. And then these next 2 are the real big hitters for this week. So I think if you have either of these 2, you really need to get something on them. Whether it's a VC or a C, it doesn't matter. Archie Roberts is number 2. So he's playing against the greenest matchup for defenders in Collingwood, coming off scores of 117, 164 and 136. So he's in red hot form. He played them last year for a 78, but he's obviously in a different role now, so we can get rid of that. He hasn't looked anywhere near a non-captain pick since Essendon started this new game plan. He's just looked like such a solid captain, and he comes up against the best matchup now, so I think he should be good. I've put him at a 120 to 150. And number 1 is obviously Nick Dacos, so he's coming up against the darkest green matchup for midfielders. Might get tagged, but I think he probably works through it, so yes please. Coming off a 128 last week, winning them the game, he looks clear of that calf injury that was concerning him a few weeks ago. I would have absolutely no worries rolling into this as my captain. I've predicted him a 135 to a 180. Unfortunately, Dacos and Roberts play in the same game, so if you have both, you can't VC and C them. But as it stands, I don't have Dacos, so I'm putting the VC on Gawn tonight and then running the C into Archie Roberts, who I think should be a pretty safe pick. But I think Gawn definitely has a ceiling tonight. It just depends on how much Max Heath is there for.
Okay. I like it. Nice one. Okay, I am...
Who are you going?
I've put the V on Brody.
Yep.
And I might take it. I might just take it. But if I'll see how I'm feeling on Saturday. If I'm feeling, if it would be Baz, which is number 4, ranked below Brody. It's like, if I had Nick Dacos, I'd probably go. Would you go Dacos? You reckon?
It's so hard because 116 is just such a nice... Like, you take that. That's a 232. That's great. But, man, Dacos, I do not see him going under 130, really, to be honest. Like we said before, if he gets tagged, it's a 125.
Yeah.
Like, that's his tagged score. It's the best matchup for
Correct.
midfielders. And if you are wondering, that has gotten better over the last couple of weeks, even though Essendon have gotten better as a team. So last week it was 77 green. Then literally after one game against Gold Coast, it's gone up to 84 green. So they are getting better. It's not like this is, a worse matchup than they have been, or this is being weighed by their shitness before. I think you take the VC. I think Bailey Smith's ceiling has been cut off with a red matchup. I think that's all that happens, is that he'll still be good. He should still get a 120, which will be good. But I think realistically, I've got him at 120 to 130. Taking the safety of 116. In my projection. Yeah. So I think, you're taking the safety, and really you're only gambling for an extra 15 or 30 points, which I don't think is worth the gamble, to be honest. So
not necessary.
Brody Grundy. Yeah. Well, that's about it for us today, I think.
Nice one. I like it. What do you just tick off finally? What are your trades for the week? Just 100%.
So I did go Brian Myers to Chad Warner, and then I've gone Caleb Windsor up to Archie Roberts, and hopefully, barring any injuries, fingers crossed, touching wood, I can go two more. I'm probably going to go. It'll probably be Jackson Blamires. Because I don't actually mind the idea of keeping Robertson there as a little loop, especially as a West Coast player. He could be handy while I've still got some of these rookies, especially in the midfield where I've got three. So I think it'll be Jackson, Blamires, or maybe even I might just get rid of Sharp because he probably isn't going to be doing much.
Yeah.
And I'll get somebody. Lombard is also another one who could go for me. But I think I'm sticking with Cook, sticking with Marshall, Farrow and Murdoch, sticking with Sarong, who... I just want to shout out Sarong. He's been the unheralded rookie this year, and I'm not just shouting him out because I was hot on him in the preseason. He's got 359, so ultra consistent, right? But then apart from that, his floor is a 72, and he has gone a ton as well. And then he scored an 80 last night, his second highest score for the year. So, well done, Sarong. Love you, mate. But yeah, I think I'm looking to get off some of these rookies next week.
Awesome, good on ya. Yeah, fair enough. I'm thinking the same thing. I'm currently getting rid of Graham Myers and Windsor as well, going to Cozzy and Nick Newman. Experimented with other stuff, but I reckon whole and whole, I reckon this is just what I like the most.
Yeah, that's nice. That is nice.
Simple as that. Very good. All right.
There you go.
With any luck, your round 7 team is on the mark.
And not off the mark, and we'll be back on Monday to review round 7. It sounded like you said... Your round 17, not round 17. That was funny. Anyway, we'll be back on Monday to review round 7 and give you all the news with that.
See you later.
See ya.